Hey there gardeners, Chris here, and I want to talk about how you can incorporate AI into your gardening, because obviously this is a really hot topic and there are some obvious issues with how AI produces a lot of its answers. And I think that really brings me back to my preferred AI, which is the one that I'd probably recommend you do, and actually is amazing because it gives an otherwise useless item so much value. So we're here with the aubergine intelligence, as you can see here, and it's very productive. There's not really much you can do with an aubergine. They're not really edible, I don't think. I mean, some people make it work. I know a friend who has a recipe that does this amazing, which I just have never been able to replicate. But we can still ask our aubergine intelligence our gardening related questions. And while I generally find that the AI in question is very quiet, is very restrained with its answers, that's actually a good thing, because compared to the AI on Google, which loves providing answers to questions when I'm looking for someone who actually knows what they're talking about, this, in providing no answer at all, isn't directing me in the wrong direction, which is amazing. Now, when we talk about AI, we do need to keep in mind that if you go online and you look for different sources, you will find very different opinions. And one of the problems I'm finding with AI is that AI has really very little nuance in what I'm seeing. And on top of that, AI often is quite confused. And so there are situations where we're looking for a simple answer for a simple question, and you would think that AI would be the ideal place to go for that kind of situation, because obviously it should be able to trawl through all that information, collate it in a way which you would assume logically looks for the correct answer. Now, AI doesn't work that way, and that is probably why AI is so useless, in my opinion, for so much of this gardening stuff, because so many of the recommendations I've found have been utterly wrong. And it's baffling at times how the AI comes up with that answer. Now, when we talk about our aubergine AI, the difference is that it doesn't know and it doesn't pretend to know, which is a very refreshing change in comparison to our more traditional digital AI, which doesn't know but will pretend to know. And one of the other things I've noticed very frequently is that the AI is so confused. It's clearly cross-sampling information, and it's possible it's just not very good at collating information, but it's kind of cross-sampling information in a way where it's giving you answers to different questions, and they're not right for the actual question that's been asked. And it's not just a gardening thing. Gardening is one of the things that I've noticed it being a real problem with, but I also work a fair bit around motorcycles on the digital side of things, so motorcycle news and stuff like that. And AI is terrible at providing incorrect information to simple questions there as well, because when you actually go in and have a look at where it's pulling that information from, it's answering a question that you've asked about a specific bike, and it's referencing a different bike. And by the same note, when you're asking it simple questions with the vegetables in mind, for instance, quite often it's just giving bizarrely wrong answers. And I get pretty sick and tired of telling Google AI that what it's provided is utterly worthless. And the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that when we talk about AI and we think about how people produce content, a lot of people use AI pretty heavily now, even for things that they should be doing themselves if they had a functioning brain. But that's not such a problem, because obviously we might talk about it and say, well, they're getting work done more quickly. And I mean, there's an argument for that. But the problem is that the AI provides incorrect information to the person who doesn't bother using their brain, and then they publish incorrect information, and then the AI samples that incorrect information. So when you think about it, AI also has a very dangerous capability of kind of basically being like a self-perpetuating misinformation and disinformation system, which I find really troubling. And I mean, I'm sure there are people who are going to say, well, there can be some good things about AI, and I think that's true. But for me, I'm going to put my aubergine to use, and I'm going to ask it the questions, and I know I'm not going to be getting misinformation and disinformation back from this plant because it's a dumb vegetable and it's still smarter than a lot of the AIs apparently.